The past year was not very rich in large releases, affected by the pandemic, the need to work from home and other related factors. But 2022 is seen as incredible for fans of interactive entertainment. Stalker 2, Homeworld 3, God of War Ragnarok, The Lord of the Rings Gollum and others. Here's what to expect in the next 12 months. The rubric is based on articles by Gaming Bolt, PlayStation, 3D News, YouTube and Microsoft.
Good luck, Constellation. You are go for launch.
The second part of Homeworld was released in 2003. Since then, the series has been in an abiosis for a long time, until in 2016 a prequel called Homeworld Deserts of Karak appeared. In the third part, the galaxy is again in danger, this time due to malfunctions of the hyperspace gate. One of the innovations of Homeworld 3 is the giant abandoned ships of an ancient civilization, which the authors call three-dimensional arenas for battles. The developers promise a complete simulation of ballistics, so that shelters and lines of fire will have to be given special attention, and after each mission, traces of hitting shells will remain on the ships of the fleet. The development of atmospheric horror in the spirit of the works of Hans Giger, Scorn, began as early in 2014. The authors of Scorn, EBB Software, placed great emphasis on immersing the player in the atmosphere, so there are no cutscenes or intros, and the interaction with the world is as realistic as possible. As the game progresses, the player will receive new abilities and types of weapons, but the Scorn will not turn into a shooter. Due to the small number of bullets, you have to always be on the lookout. Sometimes it is better not to engage in battle and confine yourself to hide and seek behind cover. It seems, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl will be released in April, and Game Pass subscribers will get it for free. The second part will combine a shooter with dozens of weapons, horror with realistic graphics and immersive sim with survival mechanics. GSC Game World promises a non-linear story with multiple development options and endings, as well as open world and advanced artificial intelligence. Support for mods is also planned, and soon after the release, the game will acquire multiplayer, which will be added with a free update. The only confusing thing is how reluctant GSC shares details. We hope everything will be fine, but it smells like a delay. Very little is known about the gameplay of God of War Ragnarok. In the sequel to the Game Awards Best Game of 2018, Kratos and Atreus will have to visit 9 kingdoms and find allies there. After all, very soon a bloody battle will begin and Ragnarok will come. In parallel, the theme of fathers and children will continue to develop, to which the first part was fully devoted. The mature Atreus will try to understand what his real role is, and what the prophecies say about him.
Like a calm and reasonable person.
Daedalic Entertainment, which has been creating 2D quests for over 10 years, has taken on a difficult project based on The Lord of the Rings. In it they will tell the story of Gollum, focusing on the details of his life, which were not found in films or books. The game will be an action game with an emphasis on hidden passage. The puny Gollum fighter is so-so. Therefore, he will have to rely on agility and cunning. As in the books, here in Gollum 2 personalities are combined, an insidious villain and a prudent good-natured. How you play and what decisions you make will affect your character's personality, and, probably, the ending. In a sense, Stray can be called a real simulator of a cat's life. You can completely immerse yourself in the atmosphere and just wander around the city, pestering everyone and listening to street musicians. In Stray we will find ourselves in a dying cyber city, from which we have to escape and unravel the ancient mystery of this place. It seems, last time we managed a stray cat in a 1983 Alley Cat. For the first time in 25 years, Bethesda is gearing up to release a game in an entirely new universe. In the coming years, no Fallout or the Elder Scrolls. Instead, we will travel to the distant future, the year 2330. In Starfield, the action will unfold in a small area of the Milky Way, where a war broke out 20 years ago between the factions of the United Colonies and the Commonwealth of Freestars. The gameplay has not yet been shown. Knowing Bethesda, we can assume that we will see it for the first time a few months before the release, as it was with Fallout 4. As promised by the director of Bethesda Game Studios Todd Howard, Starfield will be a very big game.
You are
In the sequel A Plague Tale: Requiem, the main characters, Amici and Hugo, travel south in search of a better life. However, adventure awaits them again. The players will once again be faced with medieval scenery and supernatural abilities, but most importantly, the rats will return, and there will be even more of them than before. Therefore, the game does not come out on the last generation of consoles. The developers want to show whole clouds of rats' intense scenes, and to make them look more convincing, the authors studied the behavior of large groups of rats in real life and transferred their habits into the game. So even a single rat can be very dangerous. Since 2015, we had no idea what Rocksteady Studio does, best known for the Batman Arkham trilogy. It turned out that she was working on a new third-person action-adventure game, this time, Suicide Squad. So, the developers said goodbye to Gotham. Now we will go to Metropolis to destroy the Justice League, the greatest superheroes of the DC universe.
Let the party begin.
Vampire the Masquerade Swansong, from the creators of The Council, is a story-driven RPG with 3 main characters and the ability to influence their fates. The main characters will differ from each other in vampire abilities. As the authors from Big Bad Wolf Studio say, these characters offer 3 styles of play: intimidation, seduction and stealth. 3 vampire protagonists serve the different clans of the Camarilla. The new Camarilla princess seeks to strengthen the position of the faction. This leads to a war between the 2 communities of vampires which are becoming increasingly difficult to survive. The gameplay in Sifu is non-standard. There are very few action games in which the main emphasis is on hand-to-hand combat. The developers from Slowclap were consulted by a real kung fu master, who studied this art in China, and thanks to him, more than 150 unique techniques were implemented in the game. Over 20 years ago in Heron, we fought the virus, and lost. Now, we're losing again. The city, one of the last large human settlements, is torn by conflict. Civilization has fallen back into the dark ages, and yet, we still have hope. In Dying Light 2, participate in the vast open world engulfed in a new dark era. Take advantage of your parkour skills to tip the scales of even the most brutal encounter. Clever thinking, traps and creative weapons will be your best friends. Wait for night to venture into dark hideouts of the infected. Use your agility and combat skills to survive, and reshape the world. Your choices matter. Forspoken follows the journey of Frey, a young New Yorker transported to the beautiful and cruel land of Athia. In search of a way home, Frey must use her newfound magical abilities to traverse sprawling landscapes and battle monstrous creatures. Explore the beautiful and cruel open world of Athia. Take on twisted monsters in magical combat with a wide range of powerful abilities. Scale walls, vault across canyons, leap from dizzying heights, and dash through vast landscapes.